Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Peace fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. God fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does.
All healing energy flows through me now. Harmony, balance, vitality, that glorious wisdom that creates and sustains health is mine. I live in divine well-being now and always.
Yeah. Joy fills every cell in my body. Every cell is alive with love. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does. Joy fills every cell in my body, and I am alive. I relax into the healing process. I allow Spirit to do what it does.
Good morning. It's good to see everybody. So wonderful. So welcome to Unity of Citrus. I'd like everybody, if you would, just to wave to each other that's in the sanctuary. Welcome, since we don't do our little greeting. And then, of course, we need to welcome all those that are watching us live. And I just want to take a moment to really express my gratitude for all those that helped make this Sunday service possible. Our ushers, thank you. Our AV team, Z, and of course Willie. Knowing, everywhere present, right here, right now, God.
This moment now, this moment now, this moment now, this moment now, it's all there is, it's all there is, it's all there is. This moment now, it's all there is, and all we have, and all we need is here in this moment, being here, being being here in this moment, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, this moment now, this moment now, this moment now, this moment now, this moment.
Good morning. The power of the month is will, the color silver, the awakening of the mind. The disciple is Matthew. the time right now for us to just close our minds to everything out there. There is so much happening out there, and now it's time just to take it inside yourself. That's what we're here for right now. How is the power of will connected to all our other powers? Our willingness of life is our force. We open ourselves to the richness of our divinity. This is the time for meditation, to relax and breathe. I will use the chime to remind you to breathe and focus on divine mind. At the end of meditation, I will chime 3 times to bring you back to your surroundings. You're welcome to close your eyes if you like. Our willingness enables all the powers to flow together in complete harmony. Will activates the very essence of divine mind. The strength of will allows the pure love to open ourselves to infinite loving wisdom of God's true nature. Your power of spirit is God's divine will. Find comfort in knowing the divine spirit will guide you through your life. The pure light will support you in wisdom and guide you in your journey. Listen, breathe, quiet your mind, quiet your pulse, quiet your heart. Breathe. The power of divine will is touching all of us. Our lives are connected, sharing one world. See peace envelop our community and our world. Please breathe this in. Align yourself with the principles which allows us to reap the benefits of divine will. Take in the sheer loving power of God's gift of will. Breathe. Go into the silence and know that God surrounds you and is inside of your spiritual being. Feel the energy of each spirit in this room, the power of will in each of us. Your power, your light is shining through any darkness. Imagine you're floating in a pool of water. The temperature is just right for you. You're floating with no concern of breath. The water is providing complete trust. Right here, right now, will enables the power of kindness in oneness. Imagine your minds filled with all the loving energy of God's kindness for our community and world. For the next few moments, listen in the silence and breathe. as we move into our present moment, rejoice in our creation. We are life. We are the divine force of all-loving, all-knowing Spirit of God's love. I am willing to live my life to the fullness with the life force of God's divine creation. Thy will be done. Namaste.
Good morning again. I realize I see a few new faces, so I just want to make sure I say welcome, 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 welcome. It's always like exploring me for a lesson. So today's lesson is about attached with a question mark. So my question to you is, how many ways can you load a dishwasher?
How many people are in the room?
Of course, you know there's only one way, and it's my way. So are we attached to form or substance? Trusting and being much more comfortable in the visible versus the invisible. You know, our habitual attachments invites and seduces us to fall asleep who we are, creating our own suffering with cloudy vision. We embody these attachments in our consciousness and our conversations within ourselves that support our attachments and being right and being in control. This can appear in our habitual responses that override every conscious choice, creating a vicious cycle of attachments. You know, I never clearly saw how attached I was until I fell off a bike and had to wear a cast for 3 weeks, and then weeks of healing my hand with occupational therapy. Just to show you. So I could still manage to put my hands on my hips, but I had to allow others to do tasks that I was used to completing myself, correctly, of course. And of course, this was primarily with my husband. Every tradition has teachings around attachments and the need for letting go, and that art of renunciation. Even Buddhism discusses attachments. So I have a little joke. I got a Buddhist email today, and there's no attachments. So we even send and share our attachments with one another. So how can you recognize that you might be attached to your form? The symptoms around the dishwasher might range from, I could hear the changes in the clatter of dishes from another part of the house. It's instinctual. Someone is changing how you loaded the dishwasher. Levels of irritation, ready for a fight. Of your way is more efficient, effective, cleans better, holds more dishes, etc., etc. Whoever said you needed all the spoons and the forks and the knives together? Do you ever notice when this behavior shows up inside of yourself? You don't see it very clearly, creating a very slippery slope. I'm just using the dishwasher as an example about all the many attachments. We might have attachments to a role we play, a belief, any over-identification with I'm the expert. And I love this new acronym. I enjoy acronyms. FOMA, fear of missing out. You ever notice when you decide to Google something on the computer, shoes, dishes, doesn't make any difference. And then they start dancing across the screen. And that fear of missing out. So we might be attached to being busy, distractions, political views, the news, vaccine or not vaccine. We might be attached to going fast, thinking, the past, the future, shopping, needing more, restlessness. We might be attached to judgment. We might be attached to being self-critical, never enough. We might be attached to a particular outcome or being right. Anything can be an attachment when we have a grip that we grasp onto our truth and resist letting it go. Can we step away long enough to see it clearly? It's like a junk drawer needing renewal. Do we place beautiful lights around all our junk, believing that this serves us? Our attachments can be habitual collection of tapes in our mind ready to regurgitate to defend our position and point of view. When we are covered with all these attachments, this blocks our ability to listen to each other. Not being able to listen doesn't allow us to experience our inner presence or any of the comforts of our divine birthright. So this is a slide that I saw that kind of represents attachments. So this is when you know you're attached. You have a firm grip on it and you're not able to really or interested in letting it go. It's an unconsciousness that we're attached to, believing that this is really me. And of course I'm right. And it's my way or the highway. That meism, me, that little tiny self in us. Have you ever had this experience in a blink of an eye? I don't like this feeling. I don't want this feeling. I shouldn't have this feeling. To something is wrong with me. That quote comes from a Christian Neff that studies compassion. Our minds feel much better when we blame or fault towards something else, confirming it can't be me, it must be you. When we feel over-identified with our role, we begin to feel separate. So we defend our role. After all, we are right. So what covers our truth? Who can I be if we can trust in our goodness? Can we use this time to explore who we really are? Can we reconsider? A Thomas Brown quotes, "Unmasked, all the wonders that you seek are already inside of you." So all the wonders we already seek are inside of us. Pema Chodron quotes, "We can still be crazy after all these years. We can still be angry after all these years. We can still be timid or jealous or full of feelings of unworthiness." The point is not to try to throw ourselves away and become something better, It's about befriending who we already are. It's about befriending ourselves. So it's time to unmask to our true identity. How many detours do we take? Can we make a U-turn around to ourselves? Rumi quotes, "Do you pay regular visits to yourself?" When is the last time you visited yourself? So can we be courageous explorers, shifting from attachment to divine substance? Can we move outside of our comfort zone? And are we willing to see through the eyes of our principles? Those principles of oneness, can we see through the eyes of oneness? Can we open our crown fully to invite that eternal light of our divinity? Can we practice the power of prayer and meditation? And of course, since we are practical Christianity, it is really indeed about practice, renewal, practice, renewal. It isn't like we graduate and we're done. And then Ellen Davenport, who wrote the 5 Unity Principles, decided for her congregation, she came up with one other principle, and that was mind your own business. And the reason she came up with mind your own business is people like to compare. When we're attached, we begin to compare. Well, this person over here, I don't think is on that journey. So she came up with mind your own business, which means being respectful that each and every one of us are on our own path. Metaphysically, substance is everywhere present. It is our living energy. This month is the power of will. Is this aligned with our mind or our spiritual will? It is our supply. The kingdom of God is what we feast on. We know that we are rich in substance, which already makes us prosperous and abundant. When we let go of the mind's rightness and our attachments, becoming one with this divine substance. So each one of our principles ignites and embodies our truth. So we begin to wear our truth. Our principle of oneness can't be fully embraced if we are leading from duality. When we lead from duality of right and wrong and comparing, we can't understand that first principle of oneness. A Richard Rohr quotes, "Truly enlightened people see oneness because they look out from oneness, instead of labeling everything as superior and inferior, in, out." Looking out from oneness requires us first to look in. So what filters are we seeing through? So we must first become aware of how our minds work. And awareness is not enough. Being conscious when you are preparing a speech, how right you are, to whatever attachment, to whatever role, belief, or your expertise. It generally starts with a rehearsed speech that rents space in your mind, thinking we can think our way through. The mind cannot transform the mind. So from Mark chapter 14, verses 32 to 38, Jesus is praying in Gethsemane. And he asked Peter and James and John to pray with him. And he asked, please just stay awake. In verse 38, Jesus says, keep awake and pray that you may come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So metaphysically, this is filled with meaning. And metaphysically, this means, how does this show up in your own journey? Now, Gethsemane metaphysically means the struggle that takes place in our consciousness when we die to the old. This can create inner suffering, letting go of our human attachments. So how long has your mind been unsupervised? Thinking your way through and not looking in. So let's go back to the story. Jesus is praying and he invites Peter, which represents faith, and James, who represents judgment, and John, who represents love. So what happens when we fall asleep to faith, judgment, or love? So I can give you an example, that the dishwasher example. Faith was in my thinking that I could do it right, and only me. And of course, I was having impaired judgment, not seeing clearly. And I really did fall asleep to love, having very much conditional love towards my husband, of saying, you're wrong and I'm right. So what is our motivation for practice in terms of being able to let these things go? And the letting go isn't just of that behavior, it's noticing your reactions. Are you still being triggered? If so, there's more work to be done. Can we embrace that I am in us, in ourselves, and in everyone else? And are there any times that you might really feel inspired, but then choose self-preservation and be attached to our little self? The deepest freedom flows from our awareness of God's active, renewing presence in the world and in our life. Each and every one of our cells is already divine and whole. So your journey is rich within yourself, here and now. So we are complete and whole, awake to the I am in us, awake in faith, judgment, and love. So how many ways can you load a dishwasher? I think the person said it, as many as is in the room. Can you continually loosen the grip of any attachments and let go of any emotional triggers? So right here, right now, I let go of the power of attachments. I affirm I am awake, seeing abundant possibilities. So please, never ever look at the dishwasher in the same way. use it to return to yourself. So I am awake. Namaste.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like
more.
your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it. Not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows, with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true, then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does, you just smile, cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. Let the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow.
When it grows, it grows.
Whatever dies will
And when it dies, it dies. Come on. If it works, it works.
Whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
When it fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will
And
soar.
when it soars, it soars.
I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will
Let it grow, let it
whatever
grow.
dies will
If it dies, it dies.
whatever works will
When it works, it works.
whatever flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
Fails, it fails.
To soar will soar.
Let it
I
soar.
am
I'm
planting
planting seeds and nothing more.
Whatever grows will grow. Whatever dies will
If it dies, it dies.
works will
When it works, it works.
fly.
Yeah, let it fly, let it
Whatever
fly.
fails will
If
fail.
it fails, it fails.
To soar will
Come
soar.
on, let it soar.
am planting
I'm planting seeds and nothing more.
You know, when you smile, you just help someone to know that you're cared about and that you love them.
It's that time in our service now to give our gifts, our tithes, and our offerings. We are so grateful to all of you who can be here with us. Your tithes and gifts are so greatly needed to support our Unity community. Your gifts make it possible to support our ministry outreach. Please take your gifts in your hands and affirm your offering blessings with me. Divine love through me and blesses me, applies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send forth this gift with my blessings and my love. We all know that it is given in love and received in love, and then it moves through this ministry with the energy of divine love out into the world as good. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen. If you'd read with me the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God unfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Gratitude for attending today. Annie has a few words. Namaste.
Thank goodness I thought he was going to say something about how I've been loading the dishwasher. Thank you, honey, for that. So just a few little announcements. I'm Annie, and I'm one of the licensed Unity teachers, and this allows Reverend Luce a time to take a little sabbatical and take a break. But I do want to say, let's turn around and say happy anniversary, because it's their 50th wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary, Luz! She's 51, Steve. So Reverend Luce will be with us next week, Sunday. And I do want to make an announcement that a Mary Miller, who was one of our founders, has made her transition. Mary Miller, yes. And I know some people did not know her, but just to give a little history, she started here in 1994 and was very instrumental with creating this beautiful, beautiful place. So I know when Reverend Luce gets back, there'll be an announcement of a celebration here. And then look out, please, for the World Day of Prayer. That is coming up, I think it's next week. And then one other thing I want to do is we have, I know she's probably not going to like this, but we have Sarah and Joey that are present, and we always do a youth blessing. So I'm going to ask that we do our youth blessing, because I greatly appreciate your energy in here, Sarah and Joey. So if you would, we will do a little blessing. We love you, we bless you, and we behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. So again, thank you so much, and I will be out in the hall to be able to say hello to everybody that would wish to. Thank you very much.
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar, I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you, let it go and now you're flowing, feeling